People, businesses, and mullah. Who doesn't like the Benjis? Is it the dollars? How do you want to call them? It doesn't matter. But as long as you recognize the color of the money, whether it's the browns, whether it's the greens, as long as you got plenty of it, and that's what we're just about to discuss, right? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As you can see, we're still not in our living room or in my living room, in that matter. That's the favorite couch of all. But today we are somewhere else, and we'll be telling you about it before the end of the show. So, real quick, if you are a business owner who wants to double up in your leads, get more appointments booked, and definitely double up your sales, today and this conversation is gonna be for you, because we got Moses Ware in the building. This guy's been rubbing shoulders with some of the CEOs and business owners around Nairobi, and he is the best person to tell you about this. And his experience, I think, is something worth listening to. So Moses Ware, I know this is not about the conversation we had about helping people make money online, which if you haven't seen, please go back to the previous episode. And yeah, man, I'm glad to be talking about this topic. How are you feeling about it?
I'm very excited.
Yes,
especially when we talk about people, businesses, and money, because there's integration in that, and just the energy has to flow.
People, businesses, and mullah. Who doesn't like the Benjis? Is it the dollars? How do you want to call them? It doesn't matter. But as long as you recognize the color of the money, whether it's the browns, whether it's the greens, as long as you got plenty of it, and that's what we're just about to discuss, right?
Yeah.
So businesses. So what kind or category do you specialize in businesses?
That's a great question. And regarding the industry, currently I'm in the marketing industry.
In the marketing industry,
that's been one area that I've been for the last few years.
Okay.
So as a marketer, also as a professional, I've worked at a local level, international level, particularly in the digital creative animation space, and I've seen the gap that we have in the local market.
Creative and animation space.
Yeah. So
in the international market, what kind of countries are this?
So I've been privileged to work in my previous roles as an employee. We used to handle projects in South Africa, UK, USA, and also we had...
That sounds like an agency.
Yeah, it was a marketing, an animation, creative, and digital agency.
I see.
Just another thing that we are bringing up.
So you're international made.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Yeah. So basically, one of my key interests in this field is not just about the services, but it's about customer experiences. Because when you bring in money into the businesses, it means that there are people who are getting excited, fascinated, and their lives changed by how they do the transactions and how they get the results that attract other individuals to bring in more money. So you asked about the industries that I've been or that I am looking into. The real estate industry has been a great area to focus on, and other business niches that I am looking into have been fintech, and we have various brands that are looking forward to leveraging technology, digital animation, so that they can spice up their performance, because we are bringing up innovative and cutting-edge solutions in Africa.
Yes, sir.
And to build and elevate our brands.
Now tell me, why did you choose animation, or what did you see in animation that you didn't see in other marketing categories?
Speaking about animation, there are various means of delivering out messages.
Yeah.
And leaving a lasting impact is something that's key.
Leaving a lasting impact to who? The businesses or the clients?
To everyone and in the market you are in. Yeah. Because as a brand or as an individual, there is that one thing that you like to utilize and use to set yourself apart in the industry. So when we talk about animation, let me mention one of the key players in the industry who we have, Fatboy Animations.
Fatboy.
The Fatboy Animations. Gladly, he was one of the winners recently in an award.
Recently, how recent?
That's on the Pulse Influencer Awards of the Year for animations category.
This year or last year?
This year, recently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's been in the industry for how long?
For over 13 years.
Over 13 years. And still plays to be the biggest player.
And still plays in the field.
Okay.
And now the niching that he has taken from just using his single imagery or anime over years, and now using it for brand messaging, and leveraging that single imagery for other brands to utilize, and just he uses aspects of branding so that those organizations can be identified using his imagery. That's his superpower that has set him apart. So what else can you achieve when you have a single imagery or anime in form of 3D or 2D print that represents your business and organization, speaks your language to people, and clearly demonstrates who you are in the market and how you achieve and deliver your services, and also speaks about you internally as an organization or personal brand, just on how you can connect with them, showcase what you do, and also sometimes build connections, networks, and engage with people.
From what I can hear from you, it's every brand has a story that needs to be told. But now the creatives, which is I hear your brand is called, has creative into it, right? So the creative is now how you tell the story, the technical way of taking your story to the market in such a way that it can be broken down and assimilated to be understood by the end user. Right? And that's the creative part of it. And animation is your go-to way of getting there. So what kind of animations or type of animation there is in the marketplace?
So currently when you talk about animation, they're living around the 2D and 3D. We also have various forms of anime and creative that haven't much been utilized in the Kenyan space.
Okay.
However, they have been practiced because when I first speak about the 2D and 3D animation, most of the individuals or Kenyans who have these talents, mostly they focus on gaming industry.
The
gaming industry, because that's where they relate with the individuals at international levels, and they come up with these games that people go to play at Xbox and PS stations. So you see that there is that niche. So I'm seeing a gap there whereby businesses can also leverage this skill set and integrate them in the organizations and brands so that they can showcase their customer experience and what they do. On creatives again, everyone is creative in their own way.
Correct.
So I'm just talking about other forms. However, it's a broad area. We have augmented reality.
Or AR, right?
AR. So this is where you can showcase what happens in organization, the workplace, in real time with international audience. So there are various forms in which messaging can be transitions and delivered to the client. Assume you are doing a billboard in a particular point. There's a way integrations can be done even through the QR codes and other measures so that a client can just scan through. They see what an organization does or an activity that you are trying to advertise. They can see how you do your operations. Assume it's a particular area of production. If you are in the FMCG industry.
FMCG, what is that?
The fast moving category goods industry, right?
So, example?
Let me use the food industries. The peanut, the ones that use the nuts, or these services that go so fast.
Does bread count?
Yes.
Does bread count?
Okay. So such kind of businesses, and even these items that first customer use more often. So when you look into that industries, customers want to know what makes up your brand, the quality, the quantity. Your advertisement, assume you want to do a particular shot on with the various influencers, and you like that message delivered to individuals so that they can just see it in a simple format. Yes, the video can be done, and there's a way it can be embedded in just a QR code, and such that clients can scan into that and see that advert without you spending so much into doing a 3D again billboard whereby you are doing that video. So it cuts down that costs, and you can use it over time, right? So again,
just sorry to cut you short, but augmented reality, is this something that that shows, let's say if it's a room like this, people can be able to see like the 360 of it, they can see how the room looks like in like the way you'd expect to see if you were present in the same room?
And even if we could have been having it or implementing it right now, everyone in the world could have been seeing us.
Is that the same kind of technology that goes into the glasses?
So that one now is called virtual reality.
What's the difference?
The difference is that augmented reality first showcases just the real-time experience at the moment. However, now when we come to the virtual reality, we capture those experiences or various cycles, or based on the messaging that you like to display out, we bring them up together and form a story, and then we capture them so that they can be shared through those like spectacle like equipments that now people look into. So this is where you will like to see how New York looks like, and you are in Kenya. You want to do some PUBG kind of games, you want to see, there's much that comes into this.
That gonna look scary.
It depends, every individual has what they want to consume.
So which aspect of this is not yet present in third world countries?
They are there. However, there's a limiting factor, which I would say the costing. A few organizations are in a position to invest in them. Because I've also seen like high-end,
like companies such as real estate have incredible amount of money. They just have like a ridiculous amount of pricing for units. They're using that.
In Kenya, regarding the the VR and AR. Rarely has it been implemented. However, I've been doing my research in this industry. However, I've seen in my previous projects, I could see we handled UK and 3 projects from USA, which are implemented that, and it worked really well because the individuals in those particular spaces, there are various booths that are always set whereby you can just go and ask for particular specific type of content so that you can look into it and know what's happening in the world, right?
So what industries were this?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Real estate and FMCG.
Okay, so the fast-moving goods. Interesting. So, what does it take to bring the concepts and constructs to the Kenyan market? Maybe for the average, for the an upcoming business, or the mid-sized kind of company that just needs to level up and go to the next level.
Leveling up regarding animation or creatives isn't something that you just come with it.
Tell me about it.
So there is much that comes into play. Because looking into the costing and the ROI aspect. So as a brand, first you need to understand there is a step that you need to take before investing in a particular area for your business. So you need to first consider do some market audit in the industry you are in. And then because there are costings that will be done in it, there is an audience that you are targeting. There are also other players in this industry. You need to understand which other forms of advertisement or marketing are they leveraging or technology in this industry. So after that, you can assess your digital, your communication tools. Like which one is the most preferred form of communication with your audiences and clients. So by assessing this, you can now decide if you want to leverage creatives, the content creation. Remember I shared that there are various forms of creatives and everyone is a creative in his own way and kind. So you can decide which form of digital creative animation do I need to employ. So this one is going to take you to the next step whereby you assess your buyer audience, persona, and the customers. So based on those 3 steps, now you can look into the resources, tools, infrastructures that you need to have laid down towards achieving a particular objective in which you can reach out to your audiences and give them an amazing experience. So that's when now you can talk about augmented reality, you can talk about digital marketing, you can talk about those other aspects of marketing that are integrated because you have understood the game that you are getting into. Interesting.
All right, so when you are handling a project, maybe you want to build, how long does it take to deliver on an augmented reality work for a client?
An augmented reality, first we have the research phase. If the client doesn't have, which can take up even up to more than a month. And then it can take even up to 2 years.
Damn. That's how long you want taking back in the agency?
I'm just the maximum. It depends with the resources and how prepared the team is, and also the type of project that you are handling. But the fastest I would say is 3 months. If you are purely using the team's experience and expertise without leveraging AI. But if you leverage AI, the augmented reality plus animation can sometimes take 3 months, 2 weeks.
I don't understand how AI plays into play. Like, how does AI come into place?
AI, there's a part of formulation of the imagery, the content, and more, whereby you bring up the resources and also trying to form out the right production in the end that relates with the industry. So there's much that comes into play in there. So that's when to formulate that and bring up into one big project that's going to represent that brand. You have the right imagery, the infrastructure, and everything. There's that process that brings in a team of well-experienced individuals. So through AI, we can do the story, we can do the imagery. It just slows down the time that we could have used to make the production. However, there's a timeline and areas that we have to look into that could have taken us longer if we are using our own human expertise, experiences, and skill sets to just do the work. So it cuts out, it reduces the churning.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's one thing we can all agree about AI. It's here to make the work that is tedious and took a long time to deliver. If it's something that aligns with what needs to be done, it just cuts that in half or maybe even less than half, or some makes the productivity way much efficient. Anyways, other than animation and augmented reality and VRs, what else are you into when you are helping businesses tackle their digital marketing?
Digital marketing is one broad area.
Tell me about it.
And technology being with us here. So before looking into the services, first I'm a business development specialist, right? So first I try to assess my clients and or the organizations I would like to partner with. And do a research about them, look at their pain points, and also on the other end, the opportunities that they can leverage. So by understanding the dots, where dots are not connecting, it makes it easy for me to present a solution to them. So that's when we come into talking about digital marketing, creatives for content creation, and other areas, because I must be bringing in a solution that's going to give an impact in your organization. So when looking forward to partnering with an individual, first I interact with individuals at personal levels or at organization level, whereby I come, now we sit down. Yes, I've done my research, but what are your goals and objectives in this particular industry? What is your current brand position in this industry? What does your audience want in this industry? What are the current trends that you can leverage in this industry? And what's the future of this business for you, so that we know the best strategy to deploy over time. So especially on this aspect whereby we can have a client that wants a short-term project. Let me talk about digital marketing. On the digital marketing side, digital marketing can be a long-term game, because once you position a brand, you need to show that consistency. So I have to clearly understand what you're trying to achieve in this space. So once I've understood this, I now come up with a strategy that's going to position you and elevate you towards achieving your goals and targets, and bringing you as a best player in this industry. Right.
All right. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, you better do, and definitely throw that like button, because it helps us reach to more people who are getting more educative content. And I understand this is kind of the hardcore stuff that every business owner needs to be leveraging and having at their fingertips, maybe not for themselves, but their team. And definitely your team will be reached out to if you could share, to them if you're already here. Also, just let us know what more questions you'd like us to ask. In the meantime, we plan on exploring into these depths of digital marketing, leveraging the online game to definitely book you more leads or book you more appointments, or definitely play you to that next level of sales and growing your company. Because I bet being in the same industry, sharing the same space, believe me, there's a lot of opportunities that businesses know exist. Exactly. So I just wanted to ask you this before we move on to other digital marketing aspects. How does AR and VR, obviously it's going to be a juggler questions, how does that help businesses? For anybody who's watching this, maybe they want to bring it, but at the end of the day they want to think, how does this bring me more leads or more sales or more appointments?
Customer experience is everything. And humans buy from humans, and we buy with emotions attached to it before even looking at the value. So it helps in brand positioning particularly. Everyone wants to...
So in this case, when you say a brand, what do you have in mind?
I'm looking at the business aspect of it, the business name, and how you relate with your audience. So that's why I'm talking about the experience. What do you know? What do you want to be known for? Sometimes if you are dealing with the product industry, like real estate, how can people understand your processes? How can people find your property whenever they are? How can people understand that you are legit in that particular industry? And how can people understand how best you add value in your products and services? So you need to look into that. If you are dealing with something like bread, or this FMCG industry, these fast moving goods that people want to consume.
Yeah.
Sometimes, there are counterfeit products and
that still move.
Yeah, and there's a process that people would like to understand on how you produce a products before bringing in them into the industry, especially when you are dealing with products that are high end. So taking a client or an interested individuals who wants to purchase through this process from stage 1 until the process where the product is fully produced is something that's key. So it helps to build that trust.
Yeah.
And then there's that customer experience that gets improved. They get to know you deeper insights that they want to be associated with that brand. After that, it helps to bring in more leads, because definitely if I understand what you do, this is how it's done, and it's efficient, transparent, and this is what aligns with what I want, there's that feeling and emotions. I can be a brand ambassador for this company. Regarding leads, because I know sales come into play, now positioning is key. That's why I talked about understanding clearly your audience. So you ought to understand how to do your messaging, content, and have a clear call to action for every form of content or communication that you are going to do in the other end. What action would you like to do, your audience to do after viewing this particular production that you have done? That applies across every and various sectors of marketing, so that you'll be guiding your audience on what to do. Yeah.
All right.
So it's more than just sales.
It's more than just that sounds fascinating, because I think any point, any touch point that helps any business get more sales, leads, or appointments, it's always worth looking into, and that's the metrics at the end of each day, right? So how is it better compared to other forms of digital marketing? That's AR and VR. Animation in short, right?
If you are looking, if you look at some of the best brands in the market, they don't just produce the products or services. Allow me use an example of Coca-Cola and iPhone. Everyone wants to be associated with these brands. And now if you look at also the marketing aspect of Samsung, how they produce their content, everyone currently also is shifting from a particular brand to Samsung because of that customer experience. They show you that, yes, we have AI. This is how we capture the pictures. So this is why you should be associated with us, right? So particularly, can you repeat the question again?
I was going to ask how does AR and VR, or in general animation, how is it different from the rest of digital marketing categories?
Yeah. So I would say the customer experience, whereby they see the real time. They have that feeling of using that product.
Wait, is this the same stuff that the Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was talking into when he was launching Metaverse?
They are almost the same. However, there's a difference, because Metaverse, you'll find that it's more focused on just Meta products.
But that's just AI and VR, AR and VR into it, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the key points that this guy said was that this thing is the next level of consumption. If I had him right, there's a point where he said that when the internet started, it was just about text, and that's what everybody used to consume back in the days, right? Image would load slow, and that was the next level. And then came to a point where they had to expand their capacity so that they can hold videos. And that became another way of consuming content other than text and just images, plain images, right?
Yeah.
And then now he's asked himself, what is the next level of, creating an immersive experience for people to connect, whether it's through brands, companies they like, or people that they care about. And, that's where Metaverse, that's why he decided to venture into it. I think he put in a lot of billions before the industry went down a little bit, but I guess he's still pushing, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I followed his content, but when I can remember that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is very interesting, because where you see a guy spending a lot of billions investing, probably is a new industry. Number two, if it means more immersive experience, I mean, who doesn't want to be who doesn't want to travel through time and space? Probably be in another place where you're currently where you're at. And I think that's the best thing that we have about technology. It just brings something that looks so far-fetched, something that you could have otherwise maybe spent a lot of time traveling to, or have it's limited towards the people who are producing it. Let's say like video. If a person doesn't capture some specific angles, they kind of what you kind of miss out the point when you're consuming it. But AI and I mean AR and VR, if I'm talking about like the one used in real estate where they showcase the rooms and all of that, I mean you have the entire massive experience. I've seen this with, I don't know, does this count with a 360 kind of products when they're selling them?
Yeah, sure. And it's an amazing form of form of creative for brands to emulate at the moment, because once you click on it, let me just show you a sample. Assume I could have been having my phone, I just click on it. Yes, I have done the scanning of the QR code. It's going to showcase me that first it will take me to Africa. It shows me the location of where this conversation is happening. It's going to show me how this room is in a 360 degrees angle. So if there's a messaging or a conversation that was attached to that conversation, I'm in a position to get into that position. So, and people buy results.
Yeah, they do.
That's what's captured more on that particular aspect, whereby now you have known what you are purchasing. Like if I gave an example of Samsung, why is it that the upper class, allow me use that level. Yes, we have this brand that has been emulated more by the Gen Z and the millennials, but now you find that the upper class are now taking into Samsung. It's because the experience that they are being shown, and remember, this is just on screen. But now, if you look at the form of marketing also deployed by Samsung, you'll find that yes, they are also, if you look at the social media pages, they do this anima, a bit of it, the animation, that creative aspect that people do consume. This is how when you take a picture, this is how it's gonna look. Right, and then they show you everything the people are using, people smiling, and then there's a way that you can just see it, and then when you sponsor it, you just see their performance, because people be like, wow, this is it, this is who I would like. It's just like you are pouring your heart out to your audience. So the people buy results, so you can't ignore AR, VR. It
must be really nice to be the guy who's producing content like this, where it moves people and connects them with brands.
That's amazing. Thank you.
It's amazing, right? I can almost taste it. I have I can see it through your eyes right now.
Yeah, once you can get into the heart of every brand, and that's the product and service that you truly want, and you have seen the results, for every business owner, I believe that now that part for conversion comes really easy, because the customers have already created in their mindset the type of result that you are going to get.
I've already seen a conversion point already. If they're moving from, let's say, you said billboards, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe they're along the streets where a lot of people with G-Wagons, maybe particular sort of cars, who had a specific, amount of cash, amount of revenue, amount of income every single year pass by. Maybe they could, scan the QR code. Already if they brought them to an app, that could also be a metric of conversion, right? Sure. And then they can ask whatever they want to ask, whether it's contacts for that lead.
And even with the AI speaking on that aspect on billboard, there is current aspect whereby by leveraging these tools, billboards aren't just done like before, where we just used to position them anyhow. Currently, we do even the geolocation targeting.
Do you do billboards?
In the moment, we haven't gotten into billboard. However, we have partners who do.
Interesting.
And we do if you want the printing, the creative, and the design and the layout.
You got people to take care of that.
Yeah, I have people to take care of that. From the consultation, what you want to achieve with the business, we do the geolocation targeting, where your target audiences is and where you can place that billboard that will give you the best results, so that you can display your product and service there.
Yes, sir.
So one sample of organization that has always displayed that well, we have the Chicken Inn, or the KFC that's in Westlands. They have done some nice work over there. It's not just placed there, and one of the organizations in Kenya did it. So if you are in a position to, like I say, that everything's about data. Before we start to implement this data that we have to collect, your objectives, your target market wants, what you are looking towards getting in the industry. So there's a process that has to be followed without escaping each aspect of it, so that there is conversion that you are trying to achieve.
Interesting. All right. So, what has been, in your experience, I know you've also done other things in digital marketing, such as SEO, whether this through blogs or using social media, search engine optimization, just to reach out to more accounts, more people who may be a better suit for the brand or a product that you guys are promoting out there. In your experience, which one, if a brand is definitely hasn't been using any of this, what's the best one to start in, and why would you recommend it?
We live in in a moment where there is a shift from traditional marketing to digital marketing
Yes,
of
sir.
technology era, and we have over almost 70% of individuals currently connected in the internet,
Yeah.
with around 5.2 billion of individuals in social media. So, and at every second, we have like 8 people or new accounts getting registered on social media. So that means that the first of the platforms that or areas that I can recommend is social media. So if you are a brand, you're a startup, or even the larger organization which you have, getting started in social media marketing is worth it. So social media, I recommend it because of the numbers and the target market there.
It's a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's a low-hanging fruit. So just don't take it for fun and sharing some funny stuff. For business, that's the first place you can start it. One of the reasons is because it's cost efficient.
Yeah.
It's easy to use. You just take your product pictures, you showcase what you do, or talk about your services, or even as an individual what you do.
Yeah.
So based on that, you are going just to reach out to your audiences and share what you do as a brand. Another thing to consider, because you asked that on social media, it's key to understand where your target market is,
Yes.
market and target audience.
Very important.
Who am I trying to sell to?
Yeah.
Which platform are they using most? How are they using it? So
Yeah.
looking into those 3 areas, I know the platforms to choose for my brand and service so that I can share that content. I know which strategies to use so that I can communicate to them. I know what forms of content to share on those platforms and how to share them.
Yeah.
And I will also be in a position to understand how to measure the performance in those platforms so that I can stay on top of the game.
All right, man. That's metrics, very important, right? I think that's one thing that you can know what's working versus what isn't, and where you need to double down in terms of, you know, what's working for your business, as mentioned. Yeah, I think social media, as you mentioned, is very easy to get into. All you need is an account. It's very free, and then you show them what you got. If they don't like it, maybe adjust your content based on the metrics, right? That's how you know they like it or not.
Yeah, sure.
And then
you look at their inbuilt analytics tools. Those, before we go into the third-party tools, we have those inbuilt analytic tools.
Actually, third-party tools are great when you're just running ads.
Not just for ads, for every aspect, you know, marketing.
Yeah, because when it comes to ads, man, I just want to be serious with the numbers. You know, when I'm throwing the dollar in, I just want to know where my dollar is going. Who is it reaching it to, and how efficient is it? And if the current metrics in there, they're saying one thing, but then I have another third-party tool that's saying one thing, then I have 2 results to compare to, and then now I can be able to know, okay, cool. So this one says this, and the third-party tool says this. So either one thing is lying, or if there's probably, I normally say a discrepancy gap between 10%. If it's more than that, something is wrong. Yeah.
So talking about that third-party tools, these are just like paid up or premium tools that you want to connect with this social media thing or tool analytics that they have in them, so that you can have a better understanding and dashboards and an overview of your performance there online. Like when you come to Google, yes, we have the Google Analytics that can display for me what happens on the website. And alongside, I need to make sure that I pay for.
But that is that, could you categorize that as a third party?
Google Analytics is almost like an inbuilt. I would say that it's a native tool that's connected to the website. If I have a domain, I have to make sure that's verified by Google through the Google Search Console. So yes, I can have the Google Search Console and the analytics tools. However, are they the best enough tools for me to use to optimize my website if I'm an SEO? It means I would say no. I still have to add in another tools. Yes and no. I'll still have to add in another tools, like for the Hrefs, I look if it's Suggest or any other tool, so that I can clearly understand what are my customers looking for in this particular industry.
Yes.
What form of content are they consuming on my website? How are they interacting with my content on this site, and look into other aspects of marketing and every activity that I'm doing online. So third-party tools are really great. However, they come at a cost. But before getting into there, as an organization, understanding.
But is what cost is that? A cost of missing out, or a cost of just playing in the game? I'd go with playing in the game rather than missing out.
It's a cost of playing in the game, and also a cost of missing out, because if you don't purchase those products, you can't make informed decisions.
Exactly.
Digital marketing is about decision making.
Yeah.
So those third-party tools break down the data across all areas. Yes, the internal tools will just showcase you what happens like in your business here. But now when we come to third-party tools, we can do like even the competitor intelligence. We can see the search interests. We can see what's the market shifting to. What does these people want to consume in this particular area? I can fix it and display the best type of content, right? So it helps in adjustment and shifting towards the next levels. Yes, expertise also comes with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what other forms of digital marketing other than animation and SEO and probably you could break down on social media more?
Social media is one great tool that's here with us to stay.
And I think you're more proficient on LinkedIn, and you've been advocating that a lot for businesses.
Yeah, LinkedIn is one great tool that can't be ignored. However, in as much as it's good for B2B, as a founder, a CEO, or the key brand image or the leader in your organization, you should be first at the forefront to be in that platform before bringing in building your organization's handles in that platform. So this is because people want to interact with people and people want to build that emotional connection with people. So in as much as it's great to have the LinkedIn page for your business, it's key to have a personal brand that's consistent, clearly communicates about who you are, because before people buy into the business, they are going to buy who Moses is. Okay. So that's a key consideration. When we come into other social media platforms, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have X, and we have Pinterest and more. So niching is very important, because yes, you can be doing everything that's right in these platforms, however there are no results. So you need to understand like the platforms which your audience is more focused on, and based on understanding them and how they use these platforms, you need to understand the pain points of your audiences on these platforms. So that one helps you in like brand positioning and how you are going to do your content messaging. So this one will help to build relationships with the audience, so that you are not just posting content for you to sell, however to provide a solution to your target audiences. So you can also leverage advertising in this platform, whereby now you do deeper targeting. Okay,
so before we get into that, I just want to understand, when you're doing content such as LinkedIn and all of this, how does maybe a company that wants to start in there, probably the CEO or the MDs or the key figure gets in there, develops a personal brand, personalities, sharing content, and now they've migrated, according to how you say it, to to a page for his or her business, right? And now they're starting to grow in there. Now, how can they take the client from that level, or how could they upgrade the person who's just interacted with their content to a place where it becomes a lead or consultation, an appointment, and eventually to a sale?
That's a great question. Social media handles are just tools.
Yes.
However, at first, I'm just an individual also.
Yeah.
So therefore, while I'm getting in this platform, I need to be first aware of who I am. What do I have? What am I going to offer on this platform?
Yeah.
And what solution am I going to be presenting over there? So that's going to determine how I'm going to position myself in that particular platform, right? So looking into that, it's key to understand. Yes, we have talked about LinkedIn. Now, it's key to get to create a personal profile. That's the starting point. You create a personal profile. Make sure that it's well optimized, whereby I share information about me. I have a well customized tagline talking about maybe me and the solution that I'm providing. I have a good DP and a cover banner, a cover page or a banner speaking about the solution I'm providing or what I'm trying to achieve in this platform. And then my profile is just well optimized and various areas that are deeper there. I have right information in that particular scenario. Then there's now an aspect whereby I'm now looking to networking, connecting with these individuals, and also maybe promoting my brand and presenting myself as the best solution for them. So this is where now you can be sharing content. Mm-hmm. What is it? It's about storytelling. People want to relate with you.
Do you always pitch on every post, or how do you pitch? Like, hey man, if you like this, just go back to my page. Like, how do you qualify them to the next level?
So to qualify, I think any form of marketing, there must be a call to action.
Yeah.
Yes, there are various forms of content that are
Where do you place that call to action?
Call to action. This is how you are guiding your audiences to take the next step. So if you are pitching, I've shared some informative content.
Yes.
And then I know you need a solution to this. I can just say, can you DM me?
Okay, so that's in every post, or okay, like in the post format, right?
You can do it in a post format.
Yeah.
You can share even videos. You can share carousels. However, it's not just relevant to be trying to sell in every single post. Provide and present value first.
Yeah.
Let people know who you are.
Yes.
Your personality, your values, your experiences. Then on the professional side, who are you? What solutions are you providing? And then have a clear content calendar and strategy, just like a business. Even if you are a personal brand, have a clear content strategy on how you are going to achieve every single objective that you are looking into by every type of content that you are sharing there. Because people are not just going to see it as content, but as you, who is an individual behind that platform. So by leveraging those particular, having those particular infrastructure, it helps you to monitor your performance over time. Assume on Monday, one of my goals was just to teach people what digital marketing is about. I've said this content is about how to learn digital marketing. I can just post other links directing you to other resources on how to learn digital marketing. And if my goal was just to sell, I can decide to even direct you on my group so that you can learn more information, or even just request you to DM me. So it depends with my goal. What am I trying to achieve on this platform? That's really key and a guiding factor in that platform. Relating with human, telling about my stories is something that can't be ignored. I have to tell people like, this has been my experience. I've been in digital marketing industry. This is what I've learned. These are the pitches and the hitches that you need to know. These are things to watch out in this industry. Sometimes there are trends. You have to be keeping people informed. This is what it means that to be in this platform. This is what to watch out as a person or as a brand. So there's much that we need to share on those platforms that you can't just lack content. But top of mind, have a clear content calendar.
Interesting. And this is something I assume you show people, or you train business, people who are handling such marketing in businesses, how to do. You have a program for that as well?
Yeah, I have for social media marketing, whereby we talk about LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So if you can be part of my session, social media, I touch it overally, so that you can understand how to best position your brand or business on those platforms. However, if you want to focus on a particular platform, then we always have, if you are a student in my sessions, I offer just free guidance, like how you need to narrow down your goals and how to achieve them and set your objectives. That one I believe helps. Now, on the other end, for businesses, it's always a consultancy, which is always same as the fees I charge for training for an hours of a session.
I have a controversial expert question, but before we do that, I'm going to leave the link to Moses, where you can find them and connect to him about the how you can have members of your team handle your marketing in the most utmost standard methods that there is in the marketplace today. So my question to you, that's super controversial right now, and I want you to look me into the eyes because I'm gonna ask you this. I need utmost honesty on this.
Yes.
All right. So can businesses make it without social media? I need you to look me in the eyes, man.
In the moment, I would say no. And again, I would say yes. Depending with the industry you are in, it's key to understand what's trending and where your audiences is. However, it's going to cost you more to get your next client by not being online. So definitely you can make it without being on social media. However, you are going to spend a lot of money. There will be a shift between what you are presenting with what your audience wants. And someone now who is online, the reason I said yes, he's going to be 10 times ahead of you, because he understands his audience, he understands his industry, he understands his expenditure, he understands how to position himself, and he understands everything that's going on, and they are adjusting accordingly. So I would say at the moment, if you are not online, then your brand no one knows you. So you are just surviving. So that's not a business.
Are there not other ways to build your brand other than social media?
Social media, yeah, definitely. We have for a person or for a business?
Both. Obviously, they have to be selling something.
Okay. For an individual, we have various strategies that you can leverage.
Let's talk about business.
Okay. For a business, there are various industries, especially with me being in the marketing, in business development and marketing.
Yeah.
This is where you can be looking into events. Allow me to share that as number one. You can be interacting with various events planners who also have that particular niche of what the product and service you are providing, and that one will offer you opportunities to showcase what you do. Another route you can use is networking aspect of it, whereby you attend also just almost the same events, training sessions, whereby you just try to understand the various players in the industry, what they do and how you can present your value to them. And also you can do just the traditional forms of marketing like pitching. You just reach out, window shopping, you reach out door to door forms of marketing so that you can reach to organization or your perceived target audiences and markets. You showcase them what you have, and if they buy in, yes. But because online is in, they are going to check about your background.
Yeah.
And if you can't be seen anywhere, they'll go to your competitor. That's the bitter part of it. And then the third strategy that you can leverage, apart from pitching and demonstrations, I think you can be doing the product promotions that you can be using to showcase your products and services in the streets, in the other shops, and leverage other strategies that are available.
But I think when people are buying, products such as Blue Band, right?
Yeah.
Margarine, bread. Maybe bread. Nobody's ever seen the CEO. Probably most of those guys never seen the CEO. They've never interacted with the product manager.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the founder of the company looks like. How do you go with that?
Yeah. When you talk about a brand, allow me emphasize on this. When you talk about a brand, it's more than just the person behind the brand.
Yeah.
It's about the experience that the product and service I'm purchasing brings into me. So when I look around 360 degrees, I can see the billboards, right? They showcase that this Blue Band, this is what they have, and this is the service that I need. And definitely there is that value chain whereby if I need bread, there are other services that I'll need. So I'll look into the advertising. Which forms of promotion are they using? How is their messaging? And does this align with what I want? So that's what's going to make me purchase that product or service. So positioning is key. Understanding how you are communicating and doing your messaging to your audience is key, because it's going to determine the mindset of your audiences and the target market so that they can be purchasing from you. So various areas of marketing are key and integral.
Other than having worked in an agency, what other ways did you learn, or how do you continue educating yourself about digital marketing and how to stay relevant in your field?
That's a great question. However, I believe I want to speed some premium content. First, I would say networking.
Okay.
If you look at me online, I'm always in sessions talking to various industry leaders, in sessions where I can learn, and also interacting with individuals who can also add into me. So through that, I have gained access to premium content from individuals who have given me access to privileged information, which help me elevate myself. So these individuals mentor me, they guide me, and they help me walk through my journey. That's number one. Number two, I like being in communities whereby I provide value to the individuals who are in that community, and this helps me to also relate with other individuals so that I can also share my expertise and experience with people whom at least I have found that there's a way we can interact and help each other. Thirdly, I have embraced a part of mentorship whereby I'm a mentor, and I'm also a mentee. So I continuously learn and dig deep into my areas of expertise, researching content, the courses I need to do, the trends in my industry, how just to stay on top of everything that I'm doing. So that one helps me to just stay afloat and ahead in everything that I do and I want to achieve.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. So, I think that is an interesting perspective. Probably being in the trenches, that's what I've had, is one of the most incredible way of assessing knowledge, knowing what works through first-hand information, and rubbing shoulders with others who are doing more than you are not currently doing is also a great way of doing. And I think that's sort of stuff that I like doing, right? If you're preaching water, definitely drink water.
Yeah.
Right? If it's wine, let it be wine, right? I don't want to mix. I don't want to have a mix of both. That's the way forward. So, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back where we're going to be concluding on the session. And, All right, so Moses, tell me, what is the one thing that you'd like to put across for brands that they don't really know?
I want to share just one comical word.
Okay.
Which is know what you want.
Know what you want.
Know what you want. That one goes deep down to the operations, every individual you are trying to hire in your business, and how they are going to drive you as as a lead or as an organization towards your goals and vision. So it's also going to attract the kind of individuals or businesses that are going to want to transact with you. You can be in a position to assess your performance over time, movements, your employees, and also provide a great environment that helps you now achieve that which you want.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So before we dive into the conclusion and telling people where they can find you, what question do you have for me?
It's an amazing conversation that we have had, and I believe that so far I do not have much questions. However, someone who has been watching this, you can just contact us so that you can get started with your digital marketing learning. Also into tech, or if you want to elevate your brand, you need to contact us so that I can help you with business development services or offer you the services that we have for digital, creative, and animation, so that we can see how we can partner. Alongside, I offer consultancy services that are really great. Not just for local. We are looking in the higher end of international levels.
Interesting. All right. So where can people find you?
I'm available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are some of the great accounts I've been, and I respond to the DMs instantly. Or you can just contact me on 0741718671.
All right, there you have it. If you have any questions for Moses or what you'd like us to improve next time when we're bringing an expert on the show, please let us know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. As always, keep winning, and I'll see you in the winners.